Okay, recording in progress.
Yep.
So, as we before said, we will discuss the application to the Quora Cascade funding, and there is a, let's say, still no news. As I wrote now to the chat, there is a link. And we can proceed with the first point of our agenda, and this is about the ledger and private keys problem. Do you have any thoughts came after the last meeting?
Uh, no, I talked to Lars about it, and he asked me if it was a meeting today.
Yes, he wrote that he's not available
Oh, okay.
that because he is not feeling well.
Oh, that must be reason then, because I talked to him at lunch.
Well, so yes, just here's he's
Oh,
he's
yes, I
he's
see. That's
yes. Yes,
that
this
is
is a
just less. That's like half an hour ago. Okay.
yes, an hour ago. Actually, an hour ago. So yeah, wishing him to recover well.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
Yeah. About the ledgering and about the private key, the only thing I have thought about is about involving somehow the some new encryption technologies because I read some articles about vulnerabilities and elliptic curves. For
Okay.
example, that they could be easily broken using the quantum technologies. I don't know if it is, let's say, provable for now or not. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, my opinion is that if it's easy to crack, people will try to do it. If it's like moderately hard to crack, people will will probably not try because it's not worth the effort. If
Yes,
it's
and
really hard to crack, the same people who will crack that will crack the medium encryption
exactly,
because those are the people who really want to get in, and you can always like bribe someone to get some sort of human error into it. So
exactly.
I think that if you are at medium security, I think that would suffice for everyone. And if you don't like that, you can mint your own stuff.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So
So, yeah,
yeah,
the only thing that we probably should think about really thoroughly is, let's say, the distributed storage for private keys, because let's say the thing is how to retrieve and how to, let's say, to do an invariant. Because, for example, once you have
yeah,
a trusted entry point, your private key storage would be considered as again the versioned storage. But let's say the thing is how to obtain the master password and who
yeah.
should be responsible for it.
So j just to ask some stupid questions, what technologies do we have at the moment that could do this?
Well, at first, it's what let's say DSI labs are doing. It's the technologies like ceramics. So it's
Yeah.
encrypted blockchain with all of the leading problems,
Yes.
as we saw. And the thing is that they are very difficult to maintain and still the responsibility point. So if you are ledgering your keys inside this blockchain, then there should be, let's say, at least an organization which is responsible for the blockchain.
Yeah. And we don't want that
Yes.
because we want people to, no one should be responsible. This should just work by
Yeah.
itself.
Then the only model we can rely on is let's say encrypted by default and only on the let's say uh, trusted entry point that should be available to decrypt or the master password.
Yeah.
Because I think here there could be a model like it is done in the cryptocurrency wallets, let's say at the endpoint, not on the blockchain, like it is done, for example, on MetaMask.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I have
imagining,
an idea, but could you? Could you specify what you mean?
For example, on the applications like MetaMask, you have a relatively long passphrase,
Yeah.
which is, let's say, randomized over not only the characters, but also by the parts of the phrase. It could be
Mhm.
also the human readable words. And once you have it, you have a trusted key. Using this trusted key, for example, you can store it as a, let's say, a very complicated QR code that you may store on some hard copy. You shall retrieve your, let's say, root private key. But the complexity of this private key should be, let's say, over 1 kilobyte for sure.
Yeah.
And let's
I'm sorry,
say,
I have a really loud machine here. I'm gonna close the door.
no, no, no worries, absolutely. To be honest, Zoom's noise cancellation is quite good. I cannot hear it.
Yep, that is good, but I couldn't hear you.
Ah, yes, 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 of course. So the model could work like this. The model could work like this, or it could be something really like the one-time password, but implemented in hardware level. Like here, yeah, it's a banking key
Yeah,
that retrieves the data from the digital audio radio network.
yeah, and that is where I feel my knowledge about the technology stops, because how would you do that if you also, like, imagine you have packet losses and you have uh, crappy connections. You still want this to work.
Yes. Actually, this is what is already implemented in the protocols, and also half of this is actually implemented within the TCP stack. So we can just rely on the
Oh, it is.
not encryption. I mean the parity tracking and the error correction.
But I mean, yeah, I think that is, for me at least, that is more important, because having them encrypted and like safe, that is probably interesting if you want to share sensitive things. But really, we want stuff to be findable. Uh, we want them to follow the FAIR principle, where findable, I think, is the most important thing.
Yes.
So
So yeah.
the I'm just spitballing here, but do we really need encryption?
Well, for the authorship provenance and identification of an agent, for sure. Because
Yeah, but if you have written an article like and you posted it to Nature or some other sort of magazine, you would be the author based on your name, and
mm,
that people know it's you. If someone
yes.
else claimed to be named your name, actually show that you are the author.
The thing here is there could be many, many hidden stones. For example, someone would try to disinformate the people to, let's say, claim back the ORCID account
Yeah,
on which we have a registration point of an agent.
yeah,
And then it could be not used only for plagiarism or for something like that. It could be
yeah.
used
Sure.
for
The it's
disseminating,
it's
yeah,
better to avoid it, but
yes.
also it's what I'm thinking about is there's not that much protection as it is now from people trying to do stuff like that, and just by just by introducing that, that is also sort of a selling point. So I'm not sure if just having some sort of protection or encapsulation where your identity is written into the PID, so that everyone knows that you were the one who minted it. I think that that alone is uh, sort of more secure than what we have today.
Yes, but also there is a point of persistence. We should have a mathematically proven way to, let's say, something like circular round code. So it's a checksum.
Yeah,
Yeah, because if we don't have a checksum, then we are not sure that this record retrieved from the decentralized network, this is why it is implemented by
yeah,
default.
that is
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
true, and it's also one of the
yeah,
things
and
that
this is
needs
why
to be solved.
yeah, and this is why it is implemented by default in the version control systems, like in
Yeah, because if you have like a DOI today, well, if it's fake, it will take you to a different place, but it doesn't necessarily mean that a real one ceases to exist. And in this system, that is, as you said, persistence. If you have something that you want to post into the network, it should stay there until you decide to remove it. Or maybe you won't even have that opportunity. Uh, but that is because I, today we have that they are basically just links to various documents. And in a system where everything is dependent on each other, you could actually scrub out one instance that should be there for a fake one. And that is I see I think I understand now where the problem lies. And I I agree. We need some sort of encryption and some sort of actual verified author to be at the bottom of this.
yes, yes, this is what I was meaning about it, and
Yes,
also yeah. So we
I
have
understand now.
totally agreed about it, and the thing is, while you are publishing something, then you should have a layer that will tell to anyone who wants to, for example, to download your article from the open access, to see that it is, for example, signed with a reviewer, if you have a direct communication with a
Yeah,
reviewer. Yeah. So then would be a personal ID of a reviewer's agent, virtual agent. And then you will find, for example, if the article history is open, you will find it.
yes,
Otherwise, you'll just find the actually the private public key of a journal editor
yeah.
who
That is really
issued.
important
Yes.
because having the sort of provenance of the article actually makes it so that you can, just by looking at that, discern whether or not this is something that you want to trust. And
Yes.
there are many articles that are written by AI, that are written by spoofing people that you shouldn't really trust. And you can't tell because they're all published on the internet somewhere.
Yeah.
So you tend to go to, yeah, well, if it's in science, then I can trust it. If it's in one of the other major journals, then sure, I can trust it. But what we want is to enable everyone to actually be trusted just by putting out good science. And that is really, really worth a lot for the entire planet.
Yes, because once you have trust from one colleague, he can sign your key, but not as it is done now, because now the system is totally corrupt. I mean the GPG.
Yes,
The yeah.
I agree.
Yes, now the system is totally corrupt, and the only thing we need right now is to have, let's say, strong enough private key for the virtual agent, so you can load your key
Yeah.
inside this agent, retrieve your master key, and then proceed. And this master key should be as redundant as is possible.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because, for example, I can present a very useful and very live example. I'm now working with industrial automation, so most of the devices that are remote has a remote outlet, they could be easily accessed from around, from the open network, and sometimes it's a requirement. It seems you are losing the connection.
Yes, for some reason it seems to be going down here. I don't know why.
Strange.
I
Okay.
think it's back now.
Yeah, it's back now.
It was something
So yeah,
temporary.
yeah. So working with it, it's always let's say now it's literally not even a compromise because some of the devices that have no support. So they have no CRC, they have no mathematical provenance. Most of the case because the device are just too weak to implement it. Literally weak, so it's like let's say the controllers and industrial controllers. And without, for example, placing an persistent identification on the device, we can yield storage of the private key for the given device to some device within the network and
Okay,
make
yeah.
the connection, make the connection just let's say outwardly encrypted. And this is a let's say very useful example.
Yes, it is. That is virtually the same, although it's between machines.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's but that should work the same way.
Yeah. For example, administering our Mattermost instance, I am forced to, because I have a database hosted on the different host, and I am forced to use the encrypted connection even between these two hosts. Otherwise, otherwise I am facing to once meet a crawler even in the provider's network.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so this is why we don't need sometimes an encryption, but we need a verification.
Yes, that is true. That is,
Yeah.
what we need is not necessarily something that is overly secure, but we need something that can be trusted. And as you said, trust is what's most important.
Yes. So now when I will be, perhaps, I don't know, by the middle of February, I will be a bit more free to dedicate a couple of hours every week.
I will look at the. I have it open. I just haven't written anything in it. The document with the definitions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Because
I will try
that
for.
could be really good to have before we make an application.
Yes, I will try to implement this very simple access point. Probably this would be the biggest problem to just to store and to retrieve the private key,
Yeah.
the master key.
If you want someone to test it from Sweden, we could do that.
Yes, and this was my question. So yeah, we have understood each other.
Yes.
Understood. Yeah. Yes. So for this kind, and this point in the agenda, yeah, I think we have an agreement. For the publishing, let's jump for the next point because it seems you will have to go in some minutes.
Yeah, I will have to go. Maybe I can, if I say that I'll be like 10 minutes late.
Because what I wanted to ask is, do you have some possibilities to disseminate, to publish something? But I think the feasible deadline is now for June.
What's next on the agenda? What we talking about here?
Sorry. For the agenda, it's the next steps for publishing or dissemination.
Okay, so publishing is in June. I would like to. I would definitely like to contribute. Uh,
Uh,
I think
okay,
I think your expertise is above mine, but I will if there's something that I could contribute with, I will do so.
okay. So, do you know about any conferences, events, something? Maybe your university would organize something about the
I
open data and so on.
Yes, there's an open science conference that is in beginning of April, I think, uh, at uh, our it's a Sweden local thing, but that could be one opportunity to maybe do something.
Would you like to share the link on the chat?
Uh, I can try to find it, no problem. Uh, let's see here. And I have told them that I'll be 10 minutes late, and that seems to be fine.
Perfect.
Um, let's see, where do we have this? What is this? Oh, it's actually a course about data management practices. That I thought it was something about
It's
open
not a
science.
dissemination event.
Yeah, hmm, yeah, you can. This was the link, but I got it from a colleague, and he said it should be about open science. I wonder if I got the correct link.
Okay, then just drop
So,
it in the chat. I will try
yeah,
to evaluate it.
this is the one. It's
Thank
Scilab
you.
Lab. It's our uh, what we are working, where we are working.
It's introduction of the data management. So it's a 3 days workshop
Yeah,
and a course. Yeah, and
exactly.
yeah,
It says something about open science and fair in practice, and I think what we are doing with the versioning data and everything here would be so much easier if we had our PIDs working.
yes. The thing is lacking of the time. And
Yeah, I
and
know.
the second thing is that we still cannot count on some, let's say, official opportunity for being funded. This is yeah, this is
Yeah,
what I am trying to work, but let's say for now I had no success because the European institutions are very slow.
yes.
Maybe something would change in this year. Just a sec, I will have a look at the event calendar on the website you have shared.
Uh, what we do have is if we get some sort of grant, we could definitely hire some of at least some developers, I think, to actually implement this.
Yes, or we can collaborate officially with some startups doing it.
We could.
Yeah.
We do have teams of, I think it's, is it 6 developers each? Uh, just in our national bioinformatics group. And Scilab Lab has many more. So if we if we could uh, interest someone there, I'm gonna pull some strings and see if I get some responses.
Sure. At least that would be the good point for analysis that I
Yes.
could evaluate, for example, in the weekend.
Yep. Because I think this would be, I'm not sure it would be easy, but I think it would be fun for like a network developer to actually write down and make a deployable version of it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not sure
because
how you're you have more expertise in this. How long would you say it would take for one full-time developer?
my minimum viable example, it would be done in 4 months.
4 months. Yeah.
And let's say 1 year and 2 months for the initial deployment on, let's say, on the base of two institutions.
Okay.
The estimation
Those are
is
good
to
numbers. Could you could you write them down somewhere, perhaps in our agenda or in the notes?
yes, I will try to write it down in our highlights.
Because that's really great when I'm talking to the head of the developer
Okay,
department.
so workload
Yep.
estimation for minimum viable example and initial deployment. Initial deployment. So I write it down.
So 4 months, that's for one developer.
One or two, I guess this.
Yep.
Yeah, 4 months, one or two developers. Initial prototype deployment. 1 year, 2 months. 2 months. The team is 4 developers in 2 universities, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Is that 4 times 2 or is it 2 times 2?
sorry, but what do you mean 4 times 2?
You said four developers in 2 universities. It could mean 8 total, or
No, 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 no. It's just a singular team. So it's four developers, 2 by 2.
okay. Yep.
Yeah. Because let's
And
say
do you have 2 developers on your side? On your
on your side, on my side, probably I would have only me myself and maybe another colleague who is quite interested, but I didn't speak with him in these terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my let's say from my point of view, if I would like to dedicate, for example, just a very, let's say, small example, if I would like to dedicate 1 day of a week, if a miracle would happen and we will like
Yeah.
to have the official recognition, uh, it would be done, let's say, probably in the same time. Because from my point of view, I will try to, let's say, to shorten a bit.
Yeah. But when you say 4 people, do you mean that they would be working full
Full
time on this?
full time, I don't think so. I think it's partial.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 days per week. It's
Okay.
it's
So
it's enough.
40%. That is much more reasonable. That I can maybe I can actually put some of my team on it if I have someone who is keen on doing that.
Yeah. Once we would have a chance, immediately. I think it should be done immediately. We should organize the meeting with our responsibilities.
Yes, I am having a meeting with my team tomorrow, and I can just put the distributed PIDs on the agenda.
If you will do, and then if you will share, I don't know about the recording, I don't think it's possible, but about some notes or minutes, it would be excellent.
Yeah, our meeting is in
3 minutes.
It's in our office, so I don't think we will have a recording of it.
Okay, okay, then it's if you would just have something.
Yeah, I will take some notes at least and put them.
Okay, thank you very much. And if you if you would have it in the document, you may just put it directly by the link in our agenda.
Yes, yes, of course. I will get back to everyone. Perhaps I will even reply to the email that you used
Yes,
to
it
mail
would
us,
be quite
so
quite
that immediately after the meeting tomorrow,
yeah,
it
it would be quite very useful because the email list practice shows that everyone sees the email list.
yes, exactly. That's why I prefer that. So
Yeah,
I will reply to that with the responses I get from the various people.
yeah, yes. So yeah, and we have some possibilities also on the second point. For the version control systems, I think we need the expertise of Sergio and
Yeah.
Lars.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, yeah. So for the concepts we have already discussed, and Quora funding, it's a postponed task.
Yeah, we don't know anything more about that.
Yeah.
They
So
haven't
for
published anything.
yeah, so for now, if you don't like you wouldn't like to say anything else, we have no points anymore in agenda.
Um, Not at the moment. If I think of anything, I will either make it an email or just ask it in Mattermost.
Perfect.
I try to use that as much
Yeah,
as possible.
yeah, perfect. So yeah, well, for now, because I have no news.
No, let's meet again in a
In
couple of
2 weeks,
weeks,
yeah, in two
and
weeks,
maybe we know more about the funding.
yes. And I also will try to again to round over the responsibilities. Maybe they will bring some news from the, let's say, higher spheres.
Yes, good thinking.
Yeah. So thank you very much. We can complete
Thank
on
you.
this.
This was great. Now I know what to ask for, and that that is a big step forward for me at least.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you in the 2 weeks.
See you. Have a
See
nice
you. Have a
evening.
nice
Bye.
evening. Bye.